Hello, my friends. I'm so glad to see you back with me. And if you're new, welcome to my channel, where I upload a new craft video each Tuesday morning. This is a mixed media tutorial. I'm going to make a Valentine soap dispenser with lots and lots of hearts. I'll be doing some gilding, some 3D effects with air dry clay, and applying some beautiful wax rubs. And the icing on the cake is going to be pearls and rhinestones. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is wipe down the jar with some plain, ordinary rubbing alcohol. This will remove any dirt, debris, oils from your hands. The next thing I'm going to do is just put one base coat of white paint on here. I'm actually being very careful not to get paint on any of the threads, since there will be a soap pump lid on this. It will not screw on properly if there's any paint on there. After my first coat of paint, I'm going to put one coat of spray matte finish on this, which is a very important step. If there's not a coat of matte spray between the first and the second coats of paint, they won't adhere together properly. I ended up doing 4 coats of paint on this to get that nice soft look that I was going for. I'm going to be making all my little decorations. The small hearts, the little leaves, and the tiny little roses out of Delight clay. I laid some popsicle sticks down next to it so that I can judge how thick I want to roll this clay out. And I'm putting a piece of plastic wrap over top of it so that the clay doesn't stick to my rolling pin. I'm using a really small cookie cutter and then a very tiny clay cutter in the shape of a heart. I'm laying some plastic wrap on top of the clay before I actually cut it with the cookie cutters. This will give the edge a rounded look instead of a sharp look. Now I'm doing the tiny leaves and the little bitty roses. I'm going to paint all my little elements now. The larger hearts I'm painting white. The tiny little roses I'm going to paint a very pale shade of coral. And the little leaves will be a pale shade of green. This video is a great example of mixed media. We're doing some 3D effects with air dry clay, applying some gilding, and adding lots of little sparkly fun elements. I upload a new craft video every Tuesday morning to my channel. I used my Delight clay and this beautiful silicone mold to make this cluster of roses heart for the front of my jar. And this will be my main focal point. And I'm painting it pale coral, just the same as I did the little roses. I'm going to gild the hearts in some silver foil now. So I'm putting adhesive on them. It goes on white, but once it's dry, it will be clear and very sticky so that we'll be able to apply our foil. I'm going to apply the foil now to my little hearts. The glue has dried and it's clear and sticky now. So all I have to do is take a piece of the foil and wrap it around the heart and it will stick to it. And then just take off any of the excess. You can either wipe it off or rub it off with a brush. The silver gilding comes in a couple of different ways. This is a sheet, but you can actually get it in flakes as well. I'm adding some white frost metallic wax rub to the little roses and to my heart that's a cluster of roses. This will add a nice pearly highlighted effect. For the little green leaves, I'm using a silver sparkle wax rub. Two out of the 4 white hearts that I made, I'm dusting with some coral mica powder. And it doesn't go on very strong, it just leaves a very light dusting of color. And it's sparkly. Now that I have all of the little elements completely done, they're painted, I have the decorative rubs on there, now I'm going to give them all 1 coat of triple thick glaze. I'm giving this a final coat of white paint, and I'm doing it with a sponge just to add to the softness of the background color. And then I'll clean up the bottom of the jar and then give it 1 last coat of matte spray. I'm going to glue all of my pretty little elements onto the jar now. I'm starting with my rose heart because that is going to be the center of the jar first and foremost. So I'm measuring and using some tape just to mark everything so that once I have the glue on this and I lay it on the jar, I know exactly where I'm putting it. There's a small gap between the rose heart and the jar, so I'm adding a string of pearls around there to close in that gap. I'm going to add some rhinestone flourishes around my rose heart. They do have self-stick glue on there, but I'm adding a little bit of E6000 just to make sure they're secure and they don't pop off. I'm just dotting it in a couple of different places. What are you the most excited about learning today? The 3D effects with air dry clay, or how to do the gilding and add silver, gold, copper, any type of foil to some of your projects? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're excited about learning. Now I'm going to add some pearls around the smaller hearts that I dusted with the mica powder. I'm adding a silver edge to the other 2 white hearts. This beautiful jar is easy and so fun to make. Now I'm going to add these 4 hearts, the little tiny roses, and the little leaves all to the jar now. I'm mingling all of the little elements in between around the rhinestone flourishes. I put some vintage buttons with pearls and rhinestones, and I'm adding those to the center of each one of these white hearts. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, tap that like button. And why not share this video with your friends? Don't forget to leave me a comment. I love hearing from all of you. I'd like to hear if you made this jar and how yours turned out. Let me know what you'd like to see next. What type of craft video? What would you like to learn? I'd love to hear from you. Now that the jar is complete, I'm going to add some twine to the top and my soap dispenser lid. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe so I can continue to bring you great craft videos just like this one in the future.